I wonder what's on the tube.
Welcome back.
Thank you for being a friend.
What you talking about, Willis?
You are a meathead.
No soup for you.
Welcome, everyone. Let's try that again. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Sitcom My Face.
Welcome to Fat Tongue Stumbles on the Opening.
There we go. I'm Nick Franco.
I'm Jay Bidwell. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad. I think. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Since I last saw you, I think I went to the Smodcast
Stash Bash?
Stash Bash.
How was it? Did you meet our boys again for the millionth time? Probably.
Yeah.
I was sitting here. I got my 2 autographed figures on the wall right next to me from the last time last June I was there? July, something like that.
Yeah. Last I think it was July. You would come out. Did
they do any shows this time for you?
They did. Yes, they did a show. It was a what did they call it? Like a 3-on-1, 3-on-1s or something like that. It was
Kevin and Jay are involved in a 3-on-1. It's
exactly. No, well,
always dirty.
It was interesting because actually Kev, he just like introduced it, and then what it was is they would have 3, and one time it was 4 people from the Clerks, View Askew universe. They're on stage at the Atlantic Highlands Theater there, and question and answer time with everyone. But
I saw so many posts in the Facebook group about, I met Kevin at Stash Bash, and he gave me a big old hug, and because I'm in the group. I'm sure you're in the Facebook group, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you saw all the posts, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I still have to post mine, But hey, I got like 4 hugs from Kevin.
Nothing like a Kevin Smith hug, I tell you what.
Oh, there is not. But it was very cool, a great experience, and again, great people. Kevin and his gang there are just like top notch. But yeah, I digress. How have you been? Like I think you have some cool things coming up too.
They're
on the horizon.
On our Andy Griffith Show episode, we talked about the movie Mayberry Man. There's a big announcement coming on their YouTube tomorrow.
Awesome! Can't wait.
Tune in to the Mayberry Man YouTube if you're into sitcoms, as we are.
Correct.
Yeah, they got some fun news, and we had a little meeting today about it, and it's exciting. It's exciting stuff. I can't wait to have the world know about it. One cleanup from last week, we said that we were talking about the Night Trap game. It was actually a Sega CD game. So
that was Sega CD. Okay, my bad.
So
I
we
thought
said
it was
PlayStation
1,
PC
yeah.
or something, yeah. Shittily pixelated.
Oh yeah, no, it was, but for its time, it's like, oh my god.
Screen. Yeah.
And you know what? I thought it was PlayStation because I associate PlayStation with the
disc.
The disc.
It was an early disc system for sure.
Right. Yeah, but the Sega CD, yes, preceded that. So.
Do you remember on the Modern Family episode we were talking about who we wanted to have a spinoff?
Oh yeah. No.
That article you sent me mentioned that. Did you see that? You sent me an article about a potential, I think it's still in the works, a Married with Children animated reboot?
Yes.
But they mentioned in that article that that's the reason that Mitchell and Cam move away at the end of Modern Family. I guess they were planning a spinoff.
With the 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. But it never came to fruition. But, yes, exciting news. Maybe there'll be a Married with Children animated reboot. This actually could be a brilliant way to do it, and I wonder if they're doing it because they want to do it at that time.
Yeah, it's basically a time capsule. You'll be able to have Al still as the age he was when it ended back in, what was that, 97?
97, I believe it ended.
So it's like to have them all, and to have Christina Applegate as Kelly. Why am I David Faustino? It's like to have them at the at the age back then, rather than they're all grown up and in like movies and Netflix shows and such.
Well, for so many years, the idea was thrown around about a Bud Bundy reboot where it was Bud's family and it was going to be called, I think, Married with Grandparents.
Oh,
Or Married with Grandchildren. Yeah, Married with Grandchildren. So it was, it is kind of a cool idea because this way you could keep the dynamic. You wouldn't have to have a whole new cast.
Right.
And of course, Katie Sagal is huge in voice acting. She's been Leela for forever now. And is that back already, or is that not out yet? The new Futurama?
Oh no, the new Futurama, which will be on Hulu, I believe is scheduled for, I think, early 2023 or late 2022. I forget which.
We had discussed Christina Applegate has MS now, so this is probably a great way to keep her included without having to worry about the effects of the disease, right?
Right. Yeah, like the physical, hardships, associated with.
I know the distribution rights were tied up for a minute with was it Sony had the rights? That's why they didn't do the show for so long or something. But now Disney owns all those Fox properties, so
correct.
It'll probably be a Hulu show.
most likely, yeah.
We lost a few people that we've discussed. Mike Haggerty.
Oh, right.
The character actor. He was on the Christmas episode of Married with Children we discussed.
Oh, right. Yeah, he was what?
The Santa Claus one where the dead he's the coroner? No, the cop.
No, the cop, I think, yeah.
They're waiting for the coroner. Yeah. He's so funny in that. He was was he the janitor or in Friends?
On Friends.
Trieger?
Yeah, I think that was the name.
Trieger, something like that. Very funny dude. Big guy, curly black hair. If you've seen Friends, you know who he is.
Unmistakable face. It's like as soon as you see, oh, that dude.
He was in so many different sitcoms, but Friends and Married with Children were the ones I remember him from the most. So he passed away at 67, and then Fred Ward died. He didn't have a sitcom, but I wanted to mention him because I thought he was a good actor. Tremors,
I remember from Tremors, yeah.
Yeah, was he in the second one as well, or just the first one?
Wait, was he in the second? I'm not sure.
But yeah, so R.I.P. to Mike Haggerty and Fred Ward.
But this week, we'll stay on the Fox network. Speaking of Married with Children and that, but we're gonna go to the early '90s or early to late '90s.
I thought this was NBC. Wasn't this NBC?
No, and here's the mistake people make when you mention this sitcom. People mistake it with A Different World, which was the Cosby spinoff. That was
I was looking at all of the people involved, and a lot of the guest stars are from NBC shows.
Yeah, which was interesting, but it was an actual Fox. It actually in its first season was the lead-in, I believe, to Martin.
Okay. Oh, Martin was also Fox originally?
Yes, Martin was also Fox.
See, and I'm guessing this is why it seems like NBC is because a lot of those shows also shot at Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Oh no, this is a Warner show.
At Warner Brothers as well.
Yeah, this is a Warner show, and we'll get into the makings or the behind the scenes a little bit when it comes to the show. But yeah, this week's show is
Living Single,
which
probably the worst title for the show because they were never single on the show. But anyway, you tell me your description of the show.
Well, it ran from 93 to 97. Oh, no. It's at 98.
98, I believe.
98, yes. Yeah. Sorry, we were talking about Married with Children before. That ran to 97. But yeah, 93 to 98.
I never ran.
I'm in
probably the last time I ran was actually 97.
It was developed by Yvette Lee Bowser. Now, Yvette Lee Bowser actually started out working on shows like actually The Cosby Show, A Different World, and Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Which is actually, I used to love Hanging with Mr. Cooper when I was a kid.
Another great show. Another great sitcom.
Actually, I had a huge crush on that roommate of his. What was the chick on there?
What was her name?
Long curly hair. Oh my god.
Oh.
Robinson? Something Robinson?
Holly Pete Robinson.
Yes, she was.
Holly Robinson Pete, I should say. Yeah.
She was sexy. Anyway, continue.
But anyway, Yvette Lee Bowser, worked on these other shows, and in the interim was also writing and trying to develop her own sitcom, which she wound up doing. It was originally supposed to be called My Girls. 3 weeks before it was set to premiere, it was changed to Living Single.
Like I said, terrible title.
Well, yeah, misleading title.
There you go, misleading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
Now-
episode is like, oh, they're constantly dating and they're all fucking each other. Well, how is this living single?
Yeah, what's the singleness about it?
Well, here's what I would like. Have you've seen the show before this?
Oh yeah, no, I used to watch it.
Okay, tell me what you think I think of this show.
Now,
I want you to get you've seen me discuss what 15, 16 different shows now.
Right.
What do you think I thought of this show? Today was the first time I've ever seen it.
Okay. So I think let's see. Well, we'll start with, as we always do, the theme song, which is performed by actually one of the actors on the show, Queen Latifah.
I gotta be, yeah.
Who's
You
actually-
hear it. Her voice is so distinct. It's
Very much so. Yes, she's been noted as the Queen of Rap. She hails from Newark, New Jersey, and grew up in I think it was East Orange, New Jersey. But anyway, so it starts out with this. It's a more hip hop slash more soul type of intro, like a theme song. I'm guessing you were so on it.
On the theme song or the show?
On the theme song first.
The theme song, I didn't mind it. It's okay. It's
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was.
I don't know if a lot of people know this about me, but I actually love rap. Like, I'm a huge
rap
fan.
No, I enjoy as well.
I saw DMX in concert before he died, and it was
Oh,
one of the
wow.
highlights of my life. Like, I
holy crap.
fucking had an amazing time. And I was one of the 3 white guys in the room, I think, and I brought the other 2. So I was rapping every word, but everyone else was too cool, and there's like, and I'm like, fuck you. I've waited my whole life for this. I'm rapping every word of this. But anyway, yes. So I didn't mind it. It's not
Right.
the most catchy, interesting theme song, though.
That's the thing that I was going to say. In comparison to other theme songs we've already experienced, and the other ones we know through sitcom
It does
history,
set the tone, though.
Oh, it definitely sets the tone, but is it a catchy theme song in the thing of like, oh, you'll find yourself singing it? Not necessarily. Like, it's not as much an earworm as the other ones.
Single. That's pretty much what it was, right?
Right, basically, that's the
Glad
thing.
to have my girls, or something like that.
Yeah,
I was
there's
like,
something world. So long
I never
as I
skipped
got
it,
my
as
girl.
as you put so elegantly in the Darwin and Greg episode. I never skipped it. I never skipped this one either. I was
No,
just like,
same thing. It's like,
I might have used that time to go grab a drink or something. I never skipped it.
So that's that part out of the way. I think it was well cast. I think for the.
I will tell you there's only 2 people on this show that I've ever seen in anything, I think, and I'm sure you can assume who they are.
Okay, one of them we had on actually last week too. Well, not we had on, but on our
We had
last
Kim
show.
Fields on? Where the fuck was I?
Holy shit! No, no, Kim Fields, who played Tootie on The Facts of Life, but also made a few appearances on Different Strokes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one I was sure you were familiar with, and I'm guessing you were familiar with Queen Latifah, but I don't know, like from a sitcom angle. Although she was
She was on Fresh Prince for a while.
yeah,
for a
Fresh
little bit.
Prince, and actually she was on I think a couple episodes or so of Hang with Mr. Cooper, which is ironic.
And of course, she's in a million movies and she's a good actress. She's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 I'm guessing and then the other one.
Everyone else, I'm like, I've seen you. I think I've seen Kim Coles and Erica Alexander. I feel like I've seen them in like, some movie at some point, but I don't know them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I recognize them, but like the guys, I didn't know these guys at all.
Right. Yeah. Before this show, I didn't know these guys.
Okay.
But I think it was well cast for what the characters were. Although Kim Coles was not the first choice to play. What do you call it?
Sinclair.
Sinclair.
I only remembered that name because it's the last name of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I forgot
Dinosaur.
about that. Oh my god, that's what we have
The
to tackle
Jim
at some
Henson.
point.
Oh yeah.
with very upbeat, happy ending. But anyway, the original actress that was supposed to, or person that was supposed to play Sinclair, was actually the rapper, or the British rapper, I should say, Money Love, who was a friend of Queen Latifah's. But there was some reason that she couldn't actually, at that time, do the part, so it was then put over to Kim Coles. But if you watched, I think it was the first or second episode of the show, Sinclair jokes that like she's like British, like answering the phone or whatever, like with the British. It's like, oh, I was just trying to be British. Little secret nod to
That's the first
Sinclair.
scene of the first episode.
Yeah.
So your cast, you got Kim Coles as Sinclair, Erica Alexander. I have these
As
up in front of
Maxine.
me. I'm not a genius. Sorry.
Oh, it's
Erica
okay.
Alexander as Maxine. John Henton as the name I love. Overton Wakefield.
Yes. Oh,
What a great fucking name, Overton. I love that name.
Overton. I got to tell you though, Overton, I think is like my favorite character on this show.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Kim Fields as Regine Hunter.
Mhm.
T.C. Carson, or Terrence C. Carson, as Kyle Barker.
Mhm.
Queen Latifah as Khadijah James, or Khadisha. They kind of said it either way in the show, what I saw.
Mhm.
And then for the very end, you had Mel Jackson as Trip.
Trip. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm still waiting for you to tell me what you thought.
I think you enjoyed the show. So parallels to some other shows in watching it, and we'll also get into that. But I think you'll have enjoyed it. It won't be one of your tops, but it'll be middle. I'm gonna say it's gonna be like middle of the pack for you. Now, let's open the envelope. Jay, what was your take on this show?
Hold on, I'm thirsty.
Got it.
Hold on, one more.
What are you drinking tonight?
Traverse City whiskey.
Ooh.
I think it's cherry
Ooh,
with
cherry whiskey.
or Coke Zero.
Ah.
All right, this show. Nick,
I'm here.
I loved this show.
Awesome. Okay.
I have never seen this show in my life, Nick, and I watched it today, and I watched 10 episodes
Mm-hmm.
like it was nothing, and
Yeah.
I did not expect to fucking love this show.
Okay. I am very happy you did because
Are you shocked by it? Because I was shocked.
I thought you would. I thought you would have, like I said, would have been more in your middle with like shows like, say, again, as we've gone through, like Modern Family, Honeymooners, some of the other ones that we've gone over above it. But I thought,
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely obviously shows we've talked about that I would put way above this, but as far as a 90s dating like Friends type of show,
Mhm.
this show's very good. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's very good.
This
I
is
watched
a-
2 episodes from each season,
Mhm.
and I was kind of trying to get the feel of it, and I was kind of I didn't go by a list. I think this is the first one where I've never seen an episode that we've done. Pretty
Wow.
sure.
Yeah, and you see, for me, it was Raising Hope, and I was pleasantly surprised.
And I was playing, for the last 3 days, I've been playing nothing but the Evil Dead video game, fun game.
Oh, nice,
But I
nice.
was playing with a buddy the other night, and I was like, "Yeah, he goes, what are you doing for the show this week?" And I was like, "Oh, we're doing Living Single." And he goes, "Oh, I love that show." And I was like, "Really?"
It is a well-written, well-fleshed-out show.
Now, I started with the first episode, and my first thought, I think you can probably guess what that was. I'm like, this set. Did you notice anything about that very first episode? It's a different set than the rest of the show.
Yeah, I got thrown off by that. I got thrown off because, like, all of a sudden, like, wait a second, where did...
And I instantly knew what it was. Did you know what it was?
No.
It's the Family Matters set.
Oh, shit. I did not know that.
And you mentioned Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe 6 months ago, I think that's on Hulu now too.
Oh, cool.
And I watched the first couple episodes of that. The pilot of that was the same thing where I was like watching it. I'm going, this looks familiar. It was the Growing Pains set.
Oh my God! So for pilots, they'll reuse some of the other available sets.
I think Family Matters was still on in '93, but for Hanging with Mr. Cooper, I think Growing Pains had just ended.
Yeah,
So the set was
Growing
still up.
Pains had ended, I believe, ended at that point.
So yeah, so that was my first thought. I was like, oh, they just live in the fucking the Winslow's house? What the fuck? And then it did change in the second episode. But I guess Warner Brothers would do that a lot because those are all Warner shows.
Mm-hmm.
And they would just, hey, we need to make a pilot. We're not going to put money into a show we haven't bought yet. So let's just have them use whatever set's laying around.
Right. No, and I totally understand that from a studio viewpoint of like, well, where can we cut a little bit until we know this is a done thing, that this is going to be picked up and we got something good here.
But you mentioned John Henton there as Overton.
Yeah.
I'd never seen this guy before, and he is one of the funniest fuckers I've seen.
Yes.
How did I not know about this guy, dude?
Oh God, I love that character. I love his delivery and his outlook on things.
His name's Overton, and it sounds like they're calling him Obi a lot. Are they
Yes.
calling him Obi or Ovi?
Obi.
Why Obi?
Like especially Sinclair calls him Obi.
Why Obi if his name's Overton with a V, not a B?
Well, like instead, like it's focusing on the O and then just making a little like sweet talk name or whatever.
Because I was like, I feel like
Pet
they must
name.
be saying OV, but they're saying OB.
Obi.
Like, yeah, weird. But yeah, that dude, I have literally never seen him before in my life, and he only has 8 credits or something.
Yeah, he does not have a lot of credits.
He was on this and the Hughleys,
Hughleys.
which I do remember watching, but I don't remember it well enough to remember him on it. This guy is so fun. He's got such a interesting rhythm.
Yes, that's what, like, his delivery is so good. Tell me if you can also equate this. What I find him to be, he is the
Honeymooners?
he's the smarter Ed Norton.
Yes, he really is.
That
rhythm.
He's kind of like, not to say like an idiot savant, but he is kind of like the savant Ed Norton.
Well, I told you I love King of Queens, and they did an episode where Doug was, they do their version of the Honeymooners, and his big tall black friend Deacon plays Ed Norton.
Oh
and
my God!
Watching this, I go, Deacon wasn't doing an impression of Ed Norton; he was doing an impression of this
Overton. Yeah.
guy.
But yeah, like you said, John Henton as Overton, he had such a rhythm, such a delivery, and just he just totally embodied that character, and it was just my favorite character from that show. Even though, as you watch the show, like a lot of the episodes will focus more on Khadijah or
she was the big name
Max,
at that
Max
point,
and
right?
Kyle, like the whole thing there.
Well, and that said, he's my favorite, but I think everyone on the show is pretty freaking great, dude. Like, They're all really... Kim Fields is... Tell me if... This is what I got from her. Especially in the early season. She's doing a young black Blanche from Golden Girls.
I could see that. I definitely could see that as
That
well.
pilot, especially, I was like, this is Blanche. She's doing a younger Blanche.
Yeah, but again, it's about status. It's about having a guy and just going through men like water.
Well, and the other guy too, the TC Carter, he's great. He's so fun. He's got such interesting, because he's kind of got two characters, depending on the mood he's in. He's got the guy who's trying to be a little more smooth and kind of street almost, but then he also has times where he's trying to be an incredibly proper African proud. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I get that, and it's funny when he goes into the one, and last week or last show when we did Different Strokes, I had a little bit of problem remember with the beginning episodes with Dana Plato as Kimberly, because she came across as very stuffy. When T.C. Carson as Kyle was, when he delivers sometimes, it comes across as a little snooty when he's in that one mode, but then he can immediately switch to the other.
Yeah, there's certain scenes where he's like, yeah, girl, he's real like, and then there was especially one or two scenes where he's what do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like real, I wish to leave now and I won't come back.
I will take my leave.
More like,
yeah,
like that. And then other times he's like, hey girl, how you doing? You doing good? Like, I was like, I can't tell if he's doing it on purpose or if that's just who he is. But
he had a great, he has a great leaving laugh. Like when he would be like leaving a scene and like he would throw one of those things, he would,
Maxine, hilarious. I don't really know this woman, but she was so, and she's not a typical sitcom delivery either. None of her lines were, I would say of all of them, Sinclair is the big sitcom goof.
Yes. Oh, no, very much so. Like if you wanted just typical sitcom, yes.
If you had a gun to my head and said pick your least favorite, unfortunately it would be Sinclair, not because she's bad, but because she is the most I've seen you before.
Yeah, no,
as everyone else has such an interesting take on what they're doing, and then
yes.
I mean Queen Latifah is just being Queen Latifah, but she's good at it. So, and Maxine though was the funniest I think of the females in my opinion.
Oh yeah, like I'll say sometimes like with because it's a little of, as you said, I've seen it somewhat like from like Sinclair and also from Regine, as you said, the semi-Blanche, the younger semi-Blanche. It's like sometimes it just got a little like okay, but yeah, Max was the one that it's just like wild card, and that's her the way she came across also was a real wild card because like here she is, she's an attorney. But yet, like she's always coming across from her apartment over, to the girls' apartment and eating their food and just hanging and.
Well, that's the other great thing is they're all like successful.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's always nice to see an African American show like this where they're all actually successful and they're respected and they're not, they're not the lowest common denominator where some shows will.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. No, and we'll take the stereotypical route. Mm-hmm. And and it's like okay, and that was the other great thing about this show. It was like okay, we're not going that stereotypical route. We're going actually with no, these are business professionals from the Bronx, doing what they got to do.
They're smart, they're educated, they're articulate.
Yeah, they're all driven, in their own particular way, even Overton, he just wants to be like the
he likes being a repairman.
Yeah, the ultimate handyman.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed the show, and I watched I don't know if we probably won't go into specifics. I didn't write down exactly which ones I watched, but I saw some very funny ones there in season 2. Mm-hmm. There was like a Christmas getaway episode where they go into like Overton's childhood Christmas vacation spot. Hilarious. There's all these jokes about this black Mountie, and he's like, "Yes, there are black Mounties." But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I want to see more of this guy. I can't believe he's not in shit anymore.
Yeah, I'm almost like, we should reach out to him. It's like we want more of you, man. It's like, come on. Yeah, we just did a rewatch, or a first time watch for you of Living Single, and it's like holy crap.
Did you see why? I guess TC there left in season 5. Did you see why?
Yeah, well, I saw why, and it's not only him, but Yvette Lee Bowser. Now, again,
the creator left as well.
The creator, she I don't know if she left.
This is a weird one for me. where the last season's 13 episodes.
Yeah, no, it was a
typically that's
shorter
like a
season.
mid-season.
Yeah.
That's like a mid-season pickup usually, which is usually the first season will be like 13.
No, first season
this
was
one,
what, 27?
There's a lot in all the other seasons.
Yeah.
And then the last season's 13, and he leaves, so he only missed like 10 episodes.
Yeah, because he guests on a couple at the end there.
Well, they gave him the write out, like they let him do the 2 episodes or whatever where he, I'm going to London, I think he says, or something.
I believe that's where his destination was.
But yeah, he said that call back to one of our early episodes, our very first episode, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he was constantly calling out Warner Brothers for favoring their baby show, Friends.
Yeah, the other show about young professionals trying to make do in New York City. It's like, wait a second. It's like, yeah, I see the.
And this premiered first. This was 93. Yes. I think Friends was 94. Well, and ironically, the one thing I noticed on this show, more than any other show I think we've watched, is how often this references other shows.
Oh yeah, no, they do
millions of fucking references to other shows. I just wrote, I stopped writing because there was too many, but I was like, and movies even, but they were like, oh, Blackula. They mentioned Jethro from Beverly Hillbillies, Home Improvement. All these shows they just keep referencing.
Oh no, they've referenced a lot of shows. Did you see the one where Regine was dating the weatherman and then winds up also dating his father, not knowing that they were father and son?
No.
Okay, another great episode.
Sounds like a Blanche storyline, though.
Yeah, there we go. Back to the... But...
Actually, wasn't that one of the Mary Tyler Moore episodes, too, with little Betty White there?
Yeah, I think so, actually. But yeah, the great thing was that TC, Kyle, well, when he's going out the door, he's humming the Sanford and Son theme. As he leaves the apartment.
I mentioned Blackula only because it seems like being a vampire is their main insult on this show.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Max herself is called on more than one occasion.
Many a time they're like they're trying to, like the Halloween one, they're trying to scare her. And he goes, "Man, I told you the only thing that scares her is a wooden steak and garlic." That kind of shit. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if I could pick a favorite episode of the 10 that I watched because I think they were all great. Like,
yeah, no,
there wasn't really a weak one among the 10 that I watched.
No, the 10 that I actually watched 12. Well, actually, no, 11. I watched 11 of them, and yeah, not a bad one amongst the 11.
Saw some great guest stars. I saw John Witherspoon show up from Friday, who I love. T-Boz showed up, I think, in that same episode.
You know who was
Kitt.
What was that?
Eartha Kitt was.
Oh, Eartha Kitt. Oh, nice. Who? I'm trying to remember which episode it was, but I think it was Kyle did like a. It's like and Max called him Eartha Kitt.
And actually, you just earlier I think you explained why because I was confused. There's an episode where Jeffrey from The Fresh Prince shows up, the butler.
Oh God!
And he comes in. He's playing Jeffrey. He's
right.
wearing the same fucking suit. He's got the accent, and he's cleaning the house. He's the fucking butler. And he goes, "I'm Reese," and I was like, "Why the fuck isn't he Jeffrey? Like, just have a crossover episode where you have Jeffrey come."
Right.
I mean, technically he's in Los Angeles and now you're in New York, but hey, he could be on fucking vacation, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They do shit like that on sitcoms all the time.
Exactly.
Why was Urkel, who's from Chicago, on Full House, which is in San Francisco? Doesn't matter.
Right.
But now that you say it's not an NBC show, that's probably why.
Yeah, couldn't say the character name necessarily.
But
but you could allude to the character.
There's a joke that Sinclair makes where he's talking about, because she's like embarrassed about how dirty the house is, so she's cleaning before the butler ever gets there. And he goes, "Well, man, like you're quite the housemaid yourself," or something like that. And she goes, "Well, I'm no Jeffrey." you're like, oh, okay, you know that. Kind of
I see what you're doing there. Yeah. Oh,
he gives kind of a look to camera, like, ooh, you know, like.
and also for guest stars, giving a shout out to unfortunately someone that we had just left us. Gilbert was actually in season 2 as a he was a telemarketing owner, like company owner.
I'm gonna watch more of this show. I'm not even kidding.
No, I'm
actually,
with you.
I didn't watch. You know how I usually watch the finale. I didn't watch the final episode because I didn't feel like I earned it. I want to watch more before I watch the end.
Mm-hmm. I'm totally with you on it. Although I think this is one of the shows, if I'm not mistaken, that didn't get necessarily a proper ending.
I don't know. The description seemed like it was. It said like, "Oh, we should." It was like, "Let's stay together" or something. And it was talking about one of us getting married, one's having a kid or something.
Right, but yeah, like I don't know. It just didn't feel as final.
Are you a Spin City fan?
You know what? I watched it on and off, like, during the Michael J. Fox years, and then started watching a little bit with the Charlie Sheen, and then I dropped out.
Carter, the bald black guy who's gay from Spin City, he showed up in this. Well, I always thought he was pretty funny. He was
nice.
In here he was in the Christmas one. The Halloween one was great. There was one that Kim Fields was, I guess, a wedding planner at one point in the show.
Oh, nice.
And this couple shows up, interracial couple, but they're incredibly gothic. So she wants to do this big exuberant, I'm going to plan my first wedding. It's going to be gorgeous. And they come in all fucking...
Addams Family style.
I was just going to say Addams Family out. And they're like, we want to have our wedding in the graveyard across the street from the church and all this shit. And like, instead of releasing doves, they want to release bats. It was pretty funny. But like, she walks from the living room into the kitchen, and then the guy is in the kitchen all of a sudden. She's like, oh, Jesus Christ. That was a pretty funny one. I didn't watch any of them, but as I was scrolling through, there was a lot of basketball players.
Yes.
As guest stars playing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed Queen Latifah was in the movie Set It Off. Every time there's a fight or something, they use that terminology. Oh, set it off, bro. Set it off. Oh, you gonna set it off? I was like, that's got to be a reference to her movie. Mm-hmm. And I think the one, there was a pretty funny one where Maxine had made a home movie, wink, wink.
Oh.
And it accidentally ends up in a rental case, and Kyle borrows it. So they're trying to like break into his apartment to steal this tape back. And I think even the outfit she wears seems reminiscent of the robbery outfit from Setup. But that was actually happened to me as a kid. I remember being very angry with my grandpa because he accidentally returned my copy of Rescuers Down Under.
Oh, yeah. But we were actually
movie.
Talking about that. Like one of the
Bob Newhart, because Bob Newhart's the voice in it. He's like, you returned the wrong movie, Grandpa. You piece of shit.
Rest in peace, Grandpa. No.
Love you, Grandpa. Hey, he got a shout out in that movie I'm in. So there was a scene in a movie I was in where the line had something about I had a gun that was supposed to be given to me by my grandpa, and I was supposed to go look up and go, oh, thanks, Gramps, or something like that. And I said to the director, I was like, can I give my grandpa's name? Just as like a
thanks, Grandpa.
So I said, thanks, Grandpa Herm.
There we go.
They kept it. It's in the movie.
Sweet. Did you see the episode where it's a... how do you want to say... This is another trope that sometimes sitcoms do, where they imagine themselves, like you were saying with King of Queens. Okay, they imagine themselves as the honeymooners. Well, in this episode, it's actually Kyle imagining kind of the whole thing, but it's he's imagining that they're back at this old Prohibition time jazz club.
That's the dream one. I saw
that's the dream one. Yeah.
I skipped it on purpose because I'm only watching 10. I want to get more of the universe. I don't want to watch a weird dream one, so I skipped it. But I did see the description of it.
It's like, what's your take on episodes when a show does that? Like the the dream type of like what if.
Unfortunately, it usually doesn't come from creativity. It comes from filler.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually, hey, we need 24 episodes or whatever, and we don't have another idea. Let's do some random shit.
Right.
So usually they're not quite as good, but you tell me, was it good?
Yeah, this one actually was, like, in comparison to other dream ones, this was actually pretty good. Like, Max...
Given that the writing on this show is so good, I can imagine it's probably pretty...
Yeah, Max is like the club owner. This club owner, she only kills men. Overton is this... Not rum runner, but he's a guy that's supplying the hooch. In fact, I think his name... Oh, yeah, his name was, Hooch Jones.
God bless him.
There we go. Kyle was actually, a busboy, but he was trying to... he wanted to be a singer at the jazz club. And there are multiple episodes with him singing in Living Single. I don't know if you caught any of those. Yeah, he's an excellent singer. Definitely better than Todd Bridges.
Well, I saw one I almost watched where I actually love Brian McKnight, and I saw he was on an episode, but I didn't end up watching that one.
I watched that one where he and Max get kicked out of the Brian McKnight concert and are put on the no entry list to come into that arena again. Because Brian McKnight is singing about love and the two of them are fighting in the seats. But
the hitchhiker one I was saying where T-Boz is a hitchhiker and turns out to be a wanted criminal. They find out on the radio. I'm pretty sure that was stolen from an I Love Lucy episode.
Wouldn't be surprised. Again,
where Lucy and Ethel end up. I think they hitch a ride with her, but she ends up being a bank robber or something.
Well, again, we always talk about how, with all sitcoms, there's always going to be an homage or let's take borrow a little of this from this old sitcom or a little of this idea from this old sitcom.
And honestly, going through, I think that's why I chose the ones I did. So, I chose the Halloween episode and the Christmas episode. I think it was the same season, maybe, or maybe 2 and 3, something like that. Anyway, but because we've seen so many of those,
right?
I've seen a million Halloween episodes. I've seen a million Christmas episodes, and I wanted to see, are they doing the same shit that every other one does? And I gotta say, this show did not feel stale in any of those fashions.
Right. And just like I said with the Dream episode, it was not stale and it wasn't the predictable. It's they just have the character in this role because they just have to be in this other. It's no, actually the character is really the character, how they really are, but now just take them into this prior setting.
Well, and it's always intriguing to see how a show without children handles Christmas.
True. That's true.
It's a completely different thing from, say, Growing Pains or Family Matters when you have kids and you do a Christmas episode because you have to include them. Full House, whatever. They all tend to feel the same kind of thing. This one didn't really feel like a Friends Christmas episode. You know what I mean? It had its own thing.
Right.
Maybe because they're all... Because a lot of these have paired up, why I said is the title's pretty ironic. Because they're never
living
single.
But, yeah,
they're living, but they're certainly not single half the fucking time. Maxine and Kyle are together for a lot of it, and then Overton and Sinclair are together for most of it.
Most of it, yeah. I think really from the get-go, they're really kind of.
And then Queen Latifah and Kim Fields. No, I'm just kidding.
But
what did you think of that last guy who showed up for the last season? He was all right, but he didn't get much time to do anything.
But you could tell it's we're at the end here because no, just like most shows where they introduce a character they're just trying to fill something for the last season, and it's just that this is not going to work.
This was one of those shows to me that felt like little great moments, and honestly. When I first was going through trying to figure out what I want to watch, I was like, fuck, I'm going to hate this because every episode description, especially we watched it on Hulu. If you want to watch, it's on Hulu. every description was like, oh, so and so's dating this person, so and so, oh, they go on a date, they're
Yeah,
dating.
it's hard to discern what.
I'm like, fuck,
thing is
every
what.
episode is just gonna be like a dating episode, and I fucking hate that. So
Right, but really, it's like, yeah, the date is part of the episode, but it may not be the meat of the episode because there's something else going on.
it's these little moments though, like, so yeah, the date is the structure, but then it's the little moments, because we discussed, I forget which episode, but we discussed some shows are about the character moments and some shows are about the brilliant story.
Correct.
This is a very character moment show, and the characters are very fun. There was one I watched with Queen Latifah was talked into presenting herself as a hero to the children, I think, in Sinclair's class. Is she a teacher or something at one point?
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah. I didn't see that episode, but I kind of remember that.
So she's like, oh, I don't want to disappoint the children. So she's telling the story about how she pulled this guy from a burning building or whatever. And builds it all up. And the kids are like, oh, we have a surprise for you. And they open the door and it's the guy that she saved.
Oh, my God.
From the fire, in quotes. And he's like, I've never seen you in my life. And she's like, no, remember me? I saved, remember? And he's finally, I think he's like senile or something. He goes, oh, yeah, I remember you. And so... But there's a moment, like, at the very end, like, it's kind of buried, like, when the credits are scrolling, you know? There's this really funny moment where she's like, man, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not the one who saved you. Like, I have to come clean. I can't do it. I you know what? And I'm going to call all them kids tomorrow and set the record straight and tell them that I meant well, but I'm not the one. I lied, you know? And he's like, oh, that's very big of you. And he's eating grapes, and he chokes on a grape.
Okay, setting up.
And she's like, oh, God. So she... gives him a Heimlich, and he spits the grape out, but nobody saw it. So then when the other girls come into the room, she's like, I saved his life. And they're like, yes, you did, like playing along to the lie. She's like, no, I just saved his life. He was choking on it. Oh, yeah, okay, And I was like, I was laughing my ass off. It was hysterical.
That's great.
But again, it's a really funny just character moment that's buried in the scrolling credits. Which actually, this show had some of the better credit sequences because they actually played into. They didn't just play music and play the credits.
No.
There's usually something tied into the episode.
Yes.
Like the Christmas episode. There's a joke about. I think it's like they keep talking about how close they are to like the theme park. It's like you keep hearing like the roller coaster. And so it's a Christmas episode. So in the final credit thing, it's like a first-person camera on the roller coaster. And they're singing Christmas carols. Oh, wow. But as they go down, it's like, holy night. Back up. It was pretty funny. It was just stupid little things like that where you go, they actually put a little effort into it. But this was probably prior to squish the credits to the side, scroll the previews for the next show. Yeah, that's which true. A lot of shows now suffer from. Yeah, which I hate. The Simpsons always complained about that. The writers complained about that in their commentary tracks. Like, oh, we used to get to do things in the credits, but now we can't. Yeah, I know. It's so annoying. Not just with sitcoms, but also with, like, if you're watching a movie on, cable or whatever. Yeah, they do the same thing. TNT and all that. Yeah, you notice that they squish way over and they go, coming up later, I'm just fucking blah, 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 different previews for whatever. But... yeah, no, I really enjoyed the show, and I'm glad that you did as well because I was like, well, let's see where Jay goes on. I had like no expectations really, and like I said, I only knew Kim Fields and Queen Latifah, and while I like them, they're not a draw for me. You know what I mean? Like I've never gone out of my way to go, oh, I gotta go see that new Queen Latifah movie. But when I see her, she's fine and she's fun and she's a decent actress. Right. Kim Fields, I go, oh, that's Tootie. That's the only thing I knew her from. Right. Was being Tootie. Yeah, see, like I knew her. She's definitely not Tootie on this show. Oh, no. No. Very far from. I think she's on a new Netflix show with Mike Epps, who I like as well. Yes, not only I think is she on it, I think she might be directing that too. Because I know she's been in, like in the director's chair a lot more. I'm also excited. to discuss our next show, because you said you watched the first 2 episodes of this, and I didn't even know this existed, but that Kids in the Hall kind of spin-off
Oh my
show?
God.
I've been watching it on
so
Prime.
freaking funny.
It's only 8 episodes, so this will be kind of our first like mini-series, I guess.
Yeah.
So-
It is. And it kind of goes, not to say against, but kind of like we were like, oh, okay, we're not going to do new shows or anything. But it's a resurrection of an old show.
No, it's a one-off.
It's a
8
a one-off
episodes.
resurrection of an old show.
So we're doing it's called Kids in the Hall, Death Comes to Town.
Yeah.
And it was only 8 episodes. This was 2010. I don't know how I didn't know about this, but I don't know where it originally aired. Do you? I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that.
It was shot in 2010?
Yes.
I didn't see that part. I was under the assumption that this was new.
No, this is 2010, it said.
Holy.
The DVD came out in like 2011.
Oh, wow. Okay, now I gotta look this up.
That's the only reason I saw it on Prime, is because they've brought back Kids in the Hall now.
Right.
So I think they've added some of their backlog to it, but unfortunately the original show is not on Prime. So
no, it's not on Prime, but I would like
sketch
to
show, kids. If you've never seen Kids in the Hall, do look up some sketches on YouTube. It was very funny.
Incredibly funny. These guys. Let's see. You had Dave Foley, Bruce McCullough, Kev McDonald, Mike McKinney, Scott Thompson. Those were your Kids in the Hall.
And we'll get into it deeper. But this, I think halfway into Death Comes to Town. I'm gonna save those last 4 closer to the record date, so I can be a little more fresh. But this show's great and hysterical, and I'm intrigued to see what you think about it. And I think it'll be interesting to talk about some of the things that were norms even in 2010 that may not be okay now, which might be fun to discuss. And of course, Kids in the Hall is back on Amazon Prime, so I'm going to dig into that too. So
definitely check it out.
There'll probably be a little bit of discussion of that and those actors as well. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy that they're back for this. So,
because we will get to one of my other favorite sitcoms at some point, News Radio.
Oh, that's a great one.
Dave Foley.
And which is actually kind of funny because I've been watching another dramedy on HBO called Barry.
I've heard it's good. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Excellent. The guy from SNL. What's his name?
Bill Hader. Yeah,
Bill
and
Hader,
he's created this show. He's the main character. But one of the other main characters is Stephen Root from News Radio.
Yes, Stephen Root, great. And King of the Hill.
And King of the Hill. And,
Bill,
and
right?
Office Space.
So
many
I thank
other...
you as you thanked me for raising hope. I thank you for living single, and
excellent.
I'm shocked. I'm literally sitting here, mouth agape.
Hey! Close that mouth there.
Little ASMR. Do a little ASMR. How's everybody doing tonight? You doing good? I do my mouth sounds. You doing good, Nick? I'd like you all to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/sitcommyface. I don't know how these sexy broads do this all day. This is very awkward.
I don't know.
Make sure you email sitcommyface@gmail.com. Can I ask you a favor, Nick?
You can ask me anything, Jay.
Can you drop trow and sitcom my face, baby?
I think I could do that. As long as everyone else will, do us the favor and sitcom my face.
And like, comment, subscribe. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, if it's don't fix, don't broke.
If it ain't, there goes Fat Tongue again. If it ain't fixed, don't broke it, baby.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.